You're listening to episode number 94.
Welcome to the Inner Singer Podcast, providing you with tools and techniques that you need to accelerate your singing, your performance, and your inner game beyond what you thought was possible. And now, your host for the Inner Singer Podcast, Mike Goodrich.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on the Inner Singer Podcast. This is Mike Goodrich, and I really appreciate you being here. I'm going to jump into it like I always do, without a lot of fluff and without a lot of talk. So let's get to it. Today I want to talk about preparation. Now I know that a few episodes back, I had an episode on being prepared. That's a different thing. This is all new stuff that I did not cover in that episode. So let's talk about preparation for a second. As singers, we're preparing for auditions, we're preparing for performances, we're preparing to vocalize and practice in our own home, in our own studio. We're always preparing for something. There are two ways that we can prepare. There are two mindsets that we can have when we prepare that inspire us to prepare. There are two ways of thinking about preparation. There are two ways we can bring our energy into preparation. What are they? They are one, wisdom and positivity. They are two, fear. So thing number one, which is wisdom, sets us up to prepare to succeed. Thing number two, fear, sets us up to possibly not succeed the way we want to. Why? Because when we approach preparation out of a sense of fear, what are we preparing for? What are we afraid of? We're afraid we're going to mess the performance up or mess up the audition. Whatever it is, if we approach it from fear, the fear is that we're going to screw something up, right? It's not an excitement and enthusiasm that we're going to do a great job. We're not preparing because we want to do a great job. We're preparing because we don't want to mess this thing up and embarrass ourselves and look ridiculous, right? So that's the motivation and the energy that we do not want to bring to our preparation, to our vocalizing, to whatever it is we're doing when we're getting ready for said audition, said performance, said recording session, whatever it is. The way we want to come to this is with wisdom and understanding what needs to be done and a practical and tactical way of getting where we want to get. Really logically putting out some kind of a plan and include mental rehearsal as well as physical rehearsal, but with the overall energy being one of joy and enthusiasm for how great we're going to do because we're going to be so well prepared. So we're bringing an energy of excitement, of enthusiasm, of joy, of optimism to the act of preparing for whatever it is we're preparing for, right? So this is a completely different energy that raises our vibration and tells our brain and the universe, if you will, that this is going to be a great experience. The other way, out of fear, is telling our brain, or the universe, if you will, that we're afraid this is going to be a really horrible experience, so we got to figure out something to try and prevent that from happening to us. You feel the total different energy? And I'm sure if you're anything like me, you've probably done both. You've probably prepared out of a sense of fear. Oh God, I hope I don't screw this up. Or I hope I don't mess this up again. You know, all we have to do is have a little bit of a mistake and mess up one time, and that sets us up for, well, I better be really prepared so that doesn't happen again. So you see, when that happens and we approach it that way, we are now in avoidance. We're now in a sense of fear, trying to avoid something awful happening, to us on stage, or us not getting the part, or whatever it is, right? But it's a very negative way to approach a very low vibrational energy to approach this preparation in. But if we want to ensure that this is as great as we know it's going to be, and we're excited and enthusiastic, then we bring that joy, that optimism, that enthusiasm to our preparation. So it's really important to be very, very mindful of how you prepare and your motivation behind preparing. Because all this stuff can be very unconscious, and usually is. That's why I'm trying to shine a light on it, so you become aware of it, because awareness of this stuff is really powerful. The minute you start to approach your preparation for anything now that you know this, you're going to be very mindful, and you're going to stop and think, what's my energy right now? What's my attitude? Am I excited about this, or am I afraid? What's leading me to prepare? My fear of messing up, or my joy and excitement about just getting as good as I can so this is as great as it could be? And feel into it. And if it's fear, don't beat yourself up over it, but consciously shift into a place of excitement by imagining how great it could go. There's tremendous power in our imagination, in our thoughts, in our mental rehearsal and visualization. So it is a fantastic way to set yourself up for a great performance, recording session, audition, practice session, whatever it is. Become very aware and mindful and make a conscious shift. Once you're aware of this, you don't get to go unconscious anymore. I know that's a funny thing to say. Once the cat's out of the bag and you're aware of this stuff, you become aware that, oh gosh, I've been kind of treating this like I'm afraid I'm going to mess up. And now you're aware of that energy and that thought, you can make a functional choice to consciously go in the other direction. Come from wisdom, come from joy, come from excitement, come from enthusiasm, come from optimism, right? Because if you decide to still prepare out of fear, that's no longer an unconscious habit. It's now a choice. Once we're aware of behavior, it's no longer a habit that's unconscious. We've shined a light on it. Now it becomes a choice. Now it doesn't mean that we might slip into it once in a while and we start to prepare and we're afraid and we think, oh my gosh, I hope I don't mess this up. And then we catch ourselves, oh, wait a minute now. I'm not supposed to be preparing with that energy. Okay, what can I do? Let me take a second here and get real mindful. Let me get into a place where I can imagine this just going incredibly well and having the best time ever. Let's get into that place and prepare from there, because when you do, you are going to be led to doing the things that are going to get you the most prepared to succeed. When you come from fear of messing up, that is what you're unconsciously focusing on. You are going to be led, perhaps, to things that are not the best for you to do from a preparation standpoint, because you are not thinking about a great outcome. You're thinking about avoiding a horrible outcome. So if your brain is thinking about that, and you are in that energy and in that vibration, you're not going to be led to the same things to prepare that you will be led to if you're excited and optimistic and vibrating in a high frequency, right? The two just will not resonate. What you're going to resonate with is things that are going to not really help you that much to succeed, because you're not focusing on succeeding. You're focusing on not messing up. So raise your vibration, make a choice, get into a place where you feel excited about the upcoming whatever it is, audition, performance, recording session, practice session, doesn't matter. Get really excited about it, get enthusiastic, get optimistic, get joyful, get into that energy, and then open up for what your intuition tells you to do to prepare in the best way possible to have the success that you're visualizing and imagining and feeling emotionally has already happened. Another thing, don't over-prepare out of a sense of fear. Feel into the energy of, I think this is enough. I think I'm ready. I feel totally ready. And then trust your intuition that you are totally ready. Don't let your logic kick in and say, well, I better do this a little bit more so I don't mess up, because all of a sudden your logic could very easily come from a place of fear, where your wisdom and your intuition and your inner guidance is saying, I'm totally ready, I got this. So don't overthink it. Don't let your logic talk you into going back into over-preparing from a state of fear. Feel into it. When it's enough, and you're ready. And trust that. Okay, this is short and sweet. I wanted it to be short and sweet. I'm enjoying making some short and sweet podcasts. I just want to give you some things to chew on, some things to make you aware of that a lot of us just do unconsciously. So the more awareness we have, the more we can bring consciousness to what we're doing and be conscious singers, and then ultimately be fearless singers. And speaking of fearless singing, if you would like my free book called Fearless Singing, the link will be in the description. It talks about mindset, performance, technique. It talks about everything you need to bring together to be able to sing great and do exactly what you want to do on stage. It's those three components, mindset, technique, and performance, that work synergistically together. It's a short book. You can read it in less than an hour. There are video bonuses with it. It's really, really great. Links in the description. Grab it. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. And there you go. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Inner Singer Podcast. And please share this with all of your singing friends. And head on over to iTunes and subscribe. And if you found it of value, give us a nice rating. Thanks so much.